everyone, Mel here, and today I wanted to try out a few different Crayola marker products. One is the color change dual-ended markers. I used to have like something similar when I was a kid. They weren't dual-ended, I don't think, but they were like ones that you could like use certain colors to go over other colors and it would change them. So it was still like a color changing thing. I can't remember what they were called, but it was sometime back in the 90s. Then we also have the Crayola Bold and Bright washable markers, which are supposed to be usable on both light and dark paper. And I also, several months ago, bought this kit. It is the Crayola Marker Mixer, and so you can mix, like, make your own dual colored markers. So we will try this out too. So with that said, let's get started. Also, I do have a bit of a cold, so I am a little bit stuffed up, but yeah. So anyway, but let's get started. Okay, so first up we are going to try the Crayola Bold and Bright washable markers. And I do have some black watercolor paper that I will test them out on. So we will see how they work on both light and dark. And for white paper, I'm just going to use just a page in one of my sketchbooks, just because it's easiest. So, marker, which obviously on white is not going to show up too much, but does show up a little. We'll test it here. And I'm not really seeing the white show up, unless this is not supposed to be, oh yeah, it is white. So, I don't know. Only are supposed to work on like certain kinds of dark paper, like a black paper or something. I mean, like a construction paper maybe. I mean, I can see a little bit of the green, of the light green, but it's not really showing up too much. I mean, it works on like the white paper, obviously, but I'm not getting too much except for like a little tiny bit. Overall, the colors definitely are bold and bright on the white paper, but on the black paper, they show up a tiny bit except for the white. The white one I just can't get to show up at all, but the rest show up a tiny bit, but not bold or bright at all. I don't know, again, if it's maybe just the watercolor paper and maybe it would work on different paper that's dark. Let me try on this paper, which is for coloring. It's a black coloring book page. Let's see if it shows up brighter on here. Well, now I'm getting the white to show up a little bit on this one. But it probably does look to be that it just works on certain types of dark paper better than others. Here is a comparison of the watercolor paper that I used and then the coloring book paper. Obviously the watercolor is more black and darker than the coloring book page, which is lighter, more gray, more of like a very dark gray. But the colors show up overall better on the coloring book page, and the white actually showed up on there. It probably right now would get like 3 stars from me because the colors are very pretty, again, on the white paper. Like, it's very nice color choices, but it would be better if it worked nicer on the black paper. Next, I will try the color change dual-ended markers, which again are reminiscent of the ones that I had, which might have been called like overwrites or something, but I can't remember. Because the ones I had were not dual-ended, I don't believe. It was just like certain colors could go onto other colors and it would change them. But like this one goes like violet and peach, and you would get the infrared when you cross them. So you can see that anywhere the lines crossed, that's where you get the other color, the middle color. Burn green, or it's supposed to. This one kind of got muddied up a bit, so maybe it has to be the blue into the purple. But that one's kind of not really doing it for me either, so I don't know. And it goes in, supposed to go into jade green. So far, I'm only seeing one good change. We're supposed to make bittersweet, which kind of, I can see that. Except for the fact that I think these two colors would pretty much go making an orange together anyway. Okay, that one is lighting up. So this one is working. So far, I've got 2, maybe 3 that are working very well. So will this work? Not really seeing a yellow-green here. I mean, I don't know. It looks muddied again. It's not coming into a yellow-green. I mean, it kind of makes purple, but again, is that really how it's lighting up? I mean, like doing it, because on this way it doesn't really make it if you do the magenta first. So this one also seems to just be a combination of the 2 colors. And that one does have a change, so that's good. And it changes on when you put both colors down first. So basically, some of these are doing the changes and other ones just are not. So again, I feel like the ones that I had in the 90s worked better, but it's also been a very, very long time since I used the ones in the 90s. But I feel like the overwrite ones that I had worked better because some of these just are not working the way they're supposed to at all. Like, basically this one works, and the first one that we tried works. The purple and orange into the infrared, and then the green and like the yellow one into the orange. And then this one kind of, but again, it's hard to tell if this one is just that these two colors would normally make that kind of a color, because you can, like, they would just really combine anyway. But most of these colors didn't really work very well. And so, I don't know. I mean, it's just very, very hard. It's like if I take a blue and a pink, it's gonna like come out to, like, you know, a purple color anyway. So, and I don't know if you can combine, say, the blue or even the apricot, but with other colors. Like, what would apricot and purple? Oh, you can! So that's cool. You can kind of combine other colors too, so that's pretty nice. So you can make other combinations, kind of, with some of them. So I feel like this magenta and the apricot, the purpley color, red violet, I should say, and the apricot are kind of working out better than the magenta and the blue. Can still make some fun combinations, but yeah, with only certain colors working, I don't know. But those were the smaller sets, and now onto the main part of this video, I guess, which is already taking so long, but the marker mixer, where you combine standard and blank markers, and you can watch marker colors mix and create dual color designs. And it says there's 45 color combos, and that it has a light up window. So you get marker tip storage, you get mixer markers, washable markers, 100 marker tips. So let us try this out. So here are our standard markers. This is like our little dual color thing. So I will need 3 AAA batteries that I have to put into this thing. These are all the marker tips. These are just like the regular markers that you'll combine to make colors. This is what it looks like. I have batteries in here. See how this works. So it basically says to take one of the tips and to put it into one of the clear marker bases, and I'm supposed to be able to put, okay, so this will light up. So then you can take 2 colors, so we'll go with purple, we'll stick that in there, and then we'll go with the light blue, I guess. And we'll stick that in this side until they pop in. And then this is supposed to go in here, and then it'll light up, so you can kind of see. And then somehow it's supposed to, oh, so it's kind of, you can see the colors mixing together. So I guess that's how that works. You just kind of, I don't know how long you're supposed to keep it going, but you let them soak like that. And then you have 2 colors. And supposed to be able to do, oh, there we go. Kind of. So you can create colors like that. Put that in there. This one in here. And then you kind of get your dual colored. So that's pretty neat. I like that one. And then when you want to take it out, you just kind of plop it back in there, except that you don't really have a good way to hold them. I mean, to like store them, but you know, that's fine, it's fine. This green from the one that we just did, so this one actually I think is pretty cool. I think I would give this probably like 4.5 stars, because it would be nice if there was a way to like store the color tips, you know, in case you wanted to use them, like in case you didn't want to use it all up at the same time. But it is still fun, and you can even draw with them even without the base. You'll just, your fingers will get a bit messy, but oh well, you know, that's why they're washable markers. today's video. I know I didn't really do too much in the way of, like, I didn't really do any official artwork. I just kind of scribbled and whatnot. But, you know, sometimes that's going to happen. I just couldn't really think of what I wanted to film, like what kind of artwork to make with these. I just wanted to try them out, and because I thought they all looked interesting. And I will say that I might have to look for some like construction paper, to like black construction paper, to see if that will work better with these markers than the watercolor paper. But overall, I think my favorite one to try out was the color mixer, where you make your own dual colored markers. And so, like, I think that one just, it's a lot of fun. You have 45 different, like, combinations you can make, and if you have other Crayola markers, you can also add those and make even more combinations, as long as they're all, like, the same size. Obviously, you can't take the thin ones and put that in there. They all have to be, like, the broad size ones. But you can make different combinations, so that's pretty neat. And the only downsides with that is, again, you don't really have a good way to store the tips once you've colored them. And then also, you could do 2 at a time and keep those in the blank markers, but you don't really have another way to store them, so they will dry out quicker. And also, you're not going to have as much ink as you would in, like, the regular marker. So that's the only downside with that, but it is more creative. So it's a pretty fun project thing that you want, you know, to do. And I will say that the color change markers, I had high hopes for them, but with the fact that half of them didn't want to work the way they're supposed to, that just was a little bit of a disappointment, but oh well. And then, so yeah, those are 3 different Crayola products related to markers. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite, and have you ever tried any of them? And I will see you in the next video. Bye!